East Japan as well. All right, so considering the flex that Made in Philippines have, of course, we did see the Sand King played mid lane in the previous game, so they're unsure if it's going to be a repeat or hero lost or not.
Just banning the Marcy counters, you know? That's all it is.
Oh, right, yeah.
Remaining.
And we see last
Come
phase.
on.
Wacha!
5 seconds remaining.
That's what we want to see.
Made in Philippines, what are they lacking at the moment? Pretty decent lanes. You've got objective taking, one initiator in the Sand King. Anything else you kind of need to cover in 15 seconds?
Tower damage.
Dire
Give me
team
some tower damage.
You don't think it's enough with the Enchantress TA early?
No. I think Enchantress is nowhere near as strong as she used to be in terms of tower push.
See,
Puck's alright, I guess. I mean, does Puck need to now
10
go
seconds remaining.
Yule Scepter just to be able to counter the Ancient Seal?
5
Potentially.
seconds remaining.
Or it's just going to be heavily based around, okay, we're only going to fight if Enchantress has a creep first, and we see where the Scarith Mage is, and then Puck either kills him to start, or just plays completely away from there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what Sanctity hero they can go that will offer some control. DK gone, Conquer gone, some pretty good matchups versus the Puck. Is Penguin there still? That's cool.
You may now select your heroes.
I mean, against the Puck, it's nice, right? Like, you always want to be dealing a lot of physical damage against a Puck. Maybe we should have seen it coming. They banned out the Ember Spirit and the Conquer in the last phase on Made in Philippines, so clearly that was where they were wanting to lane it in mid. So I feel like Tiny was one of the better options left to be able to contend against that. And it gives you the burst, and it means that later you can look to deal with the Templar Assassin. You've got some forced movement is what we're calling it now, right? To be able to deal with the Sand King a little bit, toss him out of the Sandstorm, make life for 11's Visage a little bit easier. I guess the Monkey King can kind of stand between the Visage and a lot of the aggression coming through, but I don't know. That's the lane that I'm not a massive fan of, if I'm being honest.
I think for me with this last pick though, with Sanctity Tiny, it's something that he has looked very good on in multiple games that they give him the position to Tiny. Like you said, it's going to be a pretty good matchup versus the Puck mid lane, and really Made in Philippines are very squishy. The Bane Enchantress won't be able to survive into the Magic Burst. Neither will really the Templar Assassin as well, as the Mystic Flare should be able to deal with Refraction. Avalanche will kind of help out with that as well. So they were definitely requiring like a Blink Initiator to be able to set up with the Sky Hero that they had, because previously they didn't really have a nice combo. So yeah, I like the last pick. My concern with Tiny, as we do have a quick pause, is that I feel like the hero, when you play Visit 2, fine, you can snowball, you can get a bunch of kills, but for some reason this hero still doesn't transition well in regards to net worth. I think even Sanctity was one of the games where I saw his Tiny was getting kill after kill after kill, but it wasn't really relating back to his position in the net worth. So I'm still a bit iffy on this hero when it's not a 1, and even in a 1, like it's not very strong at the moment.
Yeah, and I'm not really seeing like... There's basically zero initiation outside of this Tiny for Lilgun, right? And the thing that's putting me off is the fact that he's already queued up Phase Boots. I don't think you can go Phase Boots. Yeah, it's going to be nice for just dealing a little bit more damage with your right click against the Puck in lane, but I don't think that's what you're worried about. You just need a Blink Dagger ASAP. I would want to see Boots, Bottle, maybe a stick, not even the full wand, and then just go straight Blink Dagger after that. I think you can't afford to delay it further than like 12 minutes. And I feel like if you're going to finish up your Phase Boots and go this Windlace that he's got queued up as well, that is going to be delayed a little bit too long, and maybe the TA gets out of control by that stage.
Well, we saw Lilgun in game 1 have success with the Templar Assassin. Do we feel like Made in Philippines will have that success in the second game?
I feel like this lane is not going to be a worry at all for the TA, right? Like this isn't even as hard as the previous game's laning, right? You're up against a Grimstroke plus Brewmaster, right? 2 damage over times. What do you got this time around? You got Soul Assumption, big damage, but Refraction doesn't care about that. You've got a Monkey King, I guess, can be trading with you, but again, no damage over time. So yeah, I feel like it's probably going to be an easier game now for Ken on the TA.
Do you Do you like that they have the Bane playing as the position 4, Lucified playing the Bane and Tihi on the Enchantress? What do you feel like is the reasoning maybe that one support would want to be playing with the Templar Assassin than the other?
Good question, actually. Maybe they just feel like, in terms of dealing with the... Oh, no, it's actually going to be Ace playing the Skywrath, though. I was about to say, like, 0 armor Skywrath plus an Enchantress with a Blightstone just means he's going to completely bully him out of lane. But I wonder if they've actually looked to see... Oh, I got that lag. If... who exactly is playing this guy. I wonder if that's going to change up their mentality a little bit.
Okay. Because, I don't know, for me, I'm very hesitant with who I'm looking to give my chips in this second game. Is there anyone you're favoring a little bit more than the other?
I'm going to say Made in Philippines for this one. I think... Yeah, it sucks that your Enchantress is probably not going to be going into the Skywrath, but you're going to be going into the Visage.
I'm saying Lilgun
Lilgun
before they get this first blood.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Yeah, they should be able to catch up to him. Kishka with the tree dance, some extra slow, and just a question of who's able to find the first blood, and it will be 11 on the offlane of Visage. How's your prediction looking?
Gonna be A-okay. Okay. I don't know, like, why are you making that movement there without a smoke? And you didn't even get the ward down. I guess it's good that he didn't, but... Yeah. Does Ench just go on an early drums? Loves a haste, rogue with the Magi.
Yeah, well, it'd definitely be interesting for the uptake these early towers. That's one thing they don't have the same fate on as in regards to Lilgun. We're gonna have a bit of a brawl for the bounties. Some damage being traded between the two. JG's gonna fall quite low on the puck. What do you do with the puck? Do you just try and tango up, I suppose?
It's already getting tangos. Give it over to him.
Just gonna have a pretty nice start for Sanctity. Of course, again, he wasn't able to find that first blood, but we'll have a bit of a damage advantage early on. JG is going to have to rely pretty heavily on the orbs just to be able to last it, but you see Sanctity just running at the puck and making it he can't even stand in range to get any gold or experience.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard just contesting against this Tiny's right-click potential, against the harass coming through. Again, it's all about armor, this game, for the early game. And Puck, you know, you're a ranged hero against a Tiny who has 0 armor, so you can, you know, bop him a little bit. But just the extra range that Tree Grab provides you, so effective at being able to deal with this Puck who, you know, you're not a strength hero. You've got 360 less HP to begin with. So it's a pretty deadly combination. And, I mean, just look at what's happening at bottom with Tihi. He's just completely harassing them out with the use of this Blightstone.
I don't know what Kizuka was doing. He was like, take my car instead of me, because Tihi would have been able to continue chasing as Rapido is actually going to end up going down top 4-2-3. Find a nice easy kill by the looks of it. Well, didn't have too much thirst bonus advantage.
They were able to manipulate the lanes a little bit just to give the TA that extra level to be able to begin the lane with, just in case they were wanting to make an aggressive movement. Doesn't have any points in the meld just yet, but the refraction, like we were saying before, is going to be so effective as, well, speaking of that bottom lane, they're making the play onto 11 here. Looks like he's going to be forced to back up, though. Good pull coming through from Kishka, though. It's going to enable Visage to get back, at least farm up, or get close to the level 3. I really want to see him probably just soak up level 2 on Kishka and then get the hell out of that lane. Give all of the experience over to the Visage if you can afford it. Doesn't even get level 2, which is fine. It's much more important that the Visage just... Like, now that you're level 3, you actually have
Radiant's
some kind of
bottom
kill
tower
threat
is
for the
under
lane.
attack.
As Are they looking to play this lane aggressively though with the Visage and the Monkey King? Because into, I feel like TA and Enchantress, we're seeing what's occurring. Like they're just easily able to chase down 11. Boundless to try and stall this one out, but there's not much Kishka can really do against Made in Philippines.
I mean, this is kind of what I was expecting to happen. Like, TA can be an aggressive laner if you've got people that are going to enable you to just actually walk up and right-click. Like, you'll probably see a point in the meld. It still hasn't received a nerf for some reason at level 4. And then just look to use the Enchantress slow to be able to really abuse the fact that Visage is an incredibly weak laner if you can just get on top of him.
Lucify up top. Gonna take a little bit of harassment. Concussive shot, being able to set up for the blood right. They might be able to chase him down, actually. 2 points in the thirst to close the distance. Bit of butter strike. And the body blocks from Rapido is going to be enough with the Nightmare trick. The dodge out Ace 12's lost. Arcane Bolt from afar. Teehee. It's going to be onto some pump down bottom. It's going to be able to sidestep the Primal Spring. But they have another round of the Soul Assumption as 11 is able to find his second kill of the game.
It's a really fine line, right, between being able to harass this this Visage and just falling down like that. You can see Ken going for the Meld Strike onto him, but without the Enchantress there to actually provide the slow, he's just going to be able to turn around, get rid of all your refraction charges, and essentially Ken's just wasted a bunch of mana by going for that kill solo. He needs the Enchantress there if he's going to make any success happen.
Meanwhile, mid lane, it's looking pretty good at the moment for Sanctity. 25 and 11 compared to the 18 and 0 bottom lane. Action continues. They're on to Kishka. A beautiful double Boundless Strike's going to buy him a little bit of space, and now they have to be cautious of the burst from 11. Does have the charges starting to rack on up, but Made in Philippines are able to retreat away.
Absolutely should not be able to get denies in front of a TA's face, which 11's got a couple of times now, especially on ranged creeps. He's going to look to try and get another one, but won't be quite as lucky. But now just more and more points in the refraction. Again, it's just such a solid spell. You watch it, the little ring around the rosy between Teehee and Kishka.
Yeah, Teehee with the Quelling Blade was able to cut down Kishka's tree, but unfortunately didn't get the greatest neutral creep to be able to continue that chase.
Oh, now that Sanctity is level 6, of course he's got the point in the grow. It's going to provide that little bit of extra toss bonus damage, so if he does find out JG in a bad spot, and of course you're much less vulnerable to any kind of...
Might be in trouble now. Beautiful Boundless Strike with the chain control. They're actually able to blow up JG. Infused Raindrops haven't been picked up just yet for the puck, so that is a big kill for them to find early on, and it's able to secure the power rune as well.
See if Lucify is able to close in time. That Windlace might be his savior. And there we go. So it's a small, underappreciated movement, but it might end up actually saving this game, just preventing the Tiny from having that consistent damage to be able to burst through onto the likes of this puck, who is level 6. So JG can look to make some plays if he gets a little bit of help from his team.
Top lane, though, it's going to be Lilgun once again stepping in, 4-3-3, wanting a high five before he's able to slay the Bane, and well, at least gets one of them. So 4-2-3 off to a flying start. Phase Boots, Orb Corrosion already completed. He's well and truly in the top of the net worth.
He has only got the 20 last hits right now. He's forced to go back to the jungle on his own. And you do not jungle very quickly at level 4. You need level 5 minimum, in my opinion, to actually make this movement worthwhile. Won't even get the stack off. At least he gets the level 7
and
kill.
The bounty. No!
Okay.
I guess Puck had kind of full bottle and pretty much full resources as well.
Just a reflex, you know. No! Don't be selfish.
Well, at least you got the bounty.
Nice cut down on the bottom side. Ken cut down Kishka within the trees. Might be able to get the solo kill. That'd be huge.
Oh, don't set up for the side blaze. Oh, no, Kishka's like, what do I do? Let's go Fairy Fire if required. Oh, he gets another cut down. Mr. Ken, beautifully done. To top lane we go. 4-2-3. Considering about diving under the tower, but Lucify acting as that bodyguard, so Repeater will be okay. 11 has the familiars though, so should be a pretty easy kill onto T here. Often we see how difficult it is to try and bring down the Enchantress. Ken's going to consider about stepping in. And not a lot of armor that 11's able to play with. Beautiful double familiar stun. Another bonus movement speed out of the grave chilling. He's going to be flying out of harm's way. Will opt for the TP and should make it.
Or that meld just wasn't quite in position to be able to land it. Maybe just because he's only got the 1 point in the sideways as well. More action on this top side. I mean, Sanctity, I was a little bit worried about, I was saying it before, right? Going into the phase boots instead of just straight blink dagger, but I mean,
he's going to stay.
Pretty damn solid on the top side.
I don't know if they saw Rapido.
Huck's recovering fairly well though. I mean, she's only 300-400 behind the Tiny in what is a losing lane. Be careful of overextending though.
Should be okay. Is there more you're hoping to expect out of JG to help recover? Like farming stacks? Is he going to put emphasis on trying to get kills on the side lanes? What's kind of the game here for the puck early on?
I think you just still need to put pressure onto this Visage, right? Like, you can't let him have a free game. The fact that he's gotten a decent level of farm at this stage is kind of worrying to me. And now he's also gotten past that period where he's super vulnerable to physical damage. 5 armor, got 1 point in the Gravekeeper's cloak. He's fairly tanky.
Lane. A lot of emphasis put on from either side. Lucifer is able to step in. They've got the Sand King soon to fall up as well. Double core is going to be laid down, but there's no follow-up for the moment as they've got the centric control, so Sanctity drops the combo, but the damage is lacking, and the Rapido is going to look to turn. Epicenter out, Ken soon to fall up as well. Sanctity's pretty goddamn tanky, but it looks like with all the heroes being able to surround the Tiny, they'll get a big kill, and Ken's the one that claims the bounty, and we're not done just yet as JG finds Ace 12, is now going to be on the role of bodyguard to protect the TPing out Lucifer Bane. JG might be able to add another one to the tally as Kishka tried to step into the river to secure the power rune. He's got Tree Dance up in a couple of seconds, unfortunately unable to dodge the damage off the back of the mischief, and JG is well and truly recovered.
And right back into this game, dead even with the Tiny. And this is what I was talking about, right? Like, can you imagine if you didn't have that extra 950 gold or so spent on the phase boots? You'd be pretty damn close to finishing up that blink dagger. You probably wouldn't need to make that aggressive movement, and then you would just have that one farmed up. You probably don't get that kill though, so what do I know?
Alright, beautifully done from Sanctis, able to bring down puck. There's, again, not much that Lilgun can really do to put pressure onto towers. It's really just looking to find these next set of items to enable the pickoffs, and then with those pickoffs, maybe you can start to bring down some objectives.
Any stacks being built up yet? Doesn't look like it. Just the one inside the triangle, and it's actually being semi-scouted out top
JG.
side.
Gonna try and drop the coil onto 2. Once again, the damage seems to be lacking, although if you break the coil, it's gonna up a little bit there, so Ace 12, the only one to fall, but it does kind of stop that attempt that Lilgun were putting on to dive the tower. On mid lane, Lucifer.
Going mid.
Nightmare Fiend's Grip. Oh, they've got plenty of heroes to surround the Tiny. There will be no assistance as Sanctity is caught with his pants down with no one nearby to protect him.
Well, we'll enable this push on into mid. This TA has been allowed to have a free game on this bottom side. That's the benefit, of course. No real big nerfs to the Templar Assassin. Still able to jungle, still able to accelerate that net worth far and away ahead of any other hero. And again, he really wasn't counted by any of these heroes in the draft. So we'll see if Ken's able to extend that lead as another stack built up. Although Rapido, I'd say it's far more important for him to be able to take this actually. Like, yes, Ken is only 300 or so gold away from picking up that Blink Dagger, but he can much more reliably get it out of the lane. And Sand King, I mean, he's closing in, I suppose, but he's still a fair ways behind almost every other core.
I guess it's kind of nice so that at least you have the puck to be able to make some plays early on. He's gone for the Kaya first item here for JG.
That's the item I would go.
Dire's top
I mean,
tower
I
is
feel like
under
it's not a
attack.
bad Witchblade game either.
Blaine, Tiki should be able to get out of harm's way. So we kind of see the back and forth, like, oh, never mind, they're actually going to try and catch up. Rupture laid down, he'll attempt the TP up, but they'll have plenty of damage to go through the Enchantress's life pool as soon as Ace 12 is trying to step into play with the ultimate. So what are we kind of looking for both sides? So we got kills going back and forth. I mean, it's a 17 kill game, they're 13 minutes in, but no one is really posturing to get these objectives.
I think you can as soon as you got the Blink Dagger on the Sand King. It's just that he's 400 gold away. Like, you've got a Puck who's going to be able to shove out lanes and not be too worried about dying. You've got a TA that's capable of farming with a Refraction. Again, they don't have anything that's... Oh, he nearly gets the cut down on Kishka again in the trees. But he's not worried about any big rotations, as long as he doesn't spend too much time just idling in the lane, right? TA just shoves out the lane, gets back to safety.
Scanning.
Shoves out the lane, gets back to safety. And it's all about just delaying the game for Rapido right now. 200 gold away. It's nearly go time for Made in Philippines.
For Lilgun, I think they're going to hit that time pretty shortly as well, though. We've got Visage with Vlads and Drums soon to be completed. Bloodseeker's already got one component towards the BKB, so they're very close to being able to kind of find kills across the map and try and lead this into objective. Now, they do have a very nice observe ward mid on Made in Philippines, kind of the remnants of the tier 1 tower. So this was able to scout out Sanctity with the Blink Dagger.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Gotcha.
They want to be taking fights as much as they can into this TA as well. Ken should be able to get this tower deny off, although will Kishka go for the... Oh, hey!
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
They're sweeping top. Sanctity's going to look to jump in with the help of Ace 12 for the burst. They're still going to drop the Mystic Flare at the last second. Now they're toying with Ken at the moment, but the rest of Radiant, they're closing the distance as Rapido. Double Burrow Strike is going to drop the epicenter, try and blow up the Sky's Mage, and meanwhile Ken should have plenty of damage to deal with the Tiny, as well as JG gets the bounty, the finishing blow on both the kills.
Oh, will he get the lucky stun off? Didn't choose to go for it, just tried for the cut down there. But you just see the difference, right, in having that Blink Dagger. They don't make that turnaround if you don't play a little bit more selflessly on both JG as well as Ken. They really wanted to give Rapido the item that he needed to enable his gameplay. And he's still at the last of the cause, but it doesn't matter when you're able to turn around and just try and extend your TA's farm, your Puck's farm, by giving them kills. You're just a stun bot at this stage, and that's fine.
Oh, bottom lane, 11's in trouble. Rapido and Lucifer both TPing down. They don't have the Fiend script to play with, but they do have multiple heroes connecting as well as Made in Philippines. Playing across the map, top to bottom they go. They're going to try to connect to the Visage, but they will be too late to offer some assistance as JG up to a dominating streak. Die though, they're going to look to take the fight. They're still coming to the neighborhood. So wood dropped on the higher guns. They'll scout Tihi and Rapido entering the stairs, but who they're going to look to target down, it's going to be the Puck. Ancient Seal out, the Boundless Strike. They're pump faking for the moment, and they will use it at the last second. The Nightmare, not enough to keep the Puck alive.
It was close. Lucifer was in a really nice position. It just happens sometimes when you're farming around those observer ward spots. They had pretty decent vision themselves at the time, I suppose, so... And maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but at the end of the day, they had to commit a fair amount to be able to take out that Puck, right? Rupture, plus the Mystic Flare. At least you've got the Voidstone now coming out to the Monkey King as he starts building into the Orchid. So more stuff just to be able to either pick off the Puck or make life for the Bane that much more difficult.
It's almost group up time for Dire. Closing in on the BKB. The item they're really looking for the Bloodseeker. Shown up to a couple of fights, really just small skirmishes, but once that BKB is completed, the only thing that he'll be worried about is the Templar Assassin physical damage.
It's like they're ready to smoke.
They want this tower. They should be able to get it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's a play on Radiant. How do you defend this?
Force someone to extend too far onto Tihi and have Rapido waiting for the counter initiation.
Is he gonna... Ooh,
I think he's just pump faking it to be ready. Like, again,
Oh, they're going to try and block the Enchantress. It's a nice toss away from Made in Philippines. It might cost Sanctity's life for them with a
that
haste.
stun not hit.
Is able to reposition, so they get the Enchantress and Sanctity's out of there off the back of the power rune.
Maybe just not seeing that he actually had the haste available on the Tiny. Yeah, perhaps if they saw that, Puck would have been in a little bit more of a forward position just to make sure you got that Dream Coil off, reduce the effectiveness on it. They did almost everything perfectly though, right? The Enchantress on the front line being the bait, but just wasn't enough.
And they will be able to find this T1 tower. 11 is going a bit of a different route here with the itemization on the Visage. He had the Ag Shard queued up for a little bit. Let's change that, now going into the Ag's Blessing, it looks like.
Radiant's bottom
Bottom lane.
is under attack.
Set up for the defense. Kishka, look at this. The vision they would ever desire to try and bring down Rapido. But great reactions. Blinks out to the west under the cover of the Sandstorm. They're able to blow up the Sand Kick, but they are very deep. And Ken's trying to spring the trap with the damage from the Templar Assassin. Now the Fiend's Grip as well. Controlling BKB. As 4-2-3 is going to beat killed off. And with the Visage, there's no way he can get out of this one. They'll surround 11, find their 4th kill, and moving towards Ace 12 to try and make it a wipe, and they'll get it. Oh my, beautifully done then. This was all off the back of really the Sand King reactions here. Was just, yes, he was killed off, but got the blink away behind the tower and put Lilgun in an awkward position where they had to overcommit to try and bring him down.
Yeah, for sure. You could tell in their minds as well, they were considering, can we Roche here? Can we really look to do this? Looks like they're gonna feel pretty confident to do it. I suppose they did use a lot of ultimates, right? Just to even have a fighting chance in that previous team fight. So, yeah, Ken, level 17. Looking to put the pressure on, take away the Aegis. Not that they have the greatest takers on Lilgun's side, but very happy to be able to claim another objective here on Made in Philippines.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Again, this another lane ward's placed mid. So second time they've dropped the ward kind of at this location. It's giving them a lot of information of Lilgun and how they're positioning across the map. And now with Made in Philippines having this first ages of the game given over to Ken, what are we expecting them to get out of this? Is there anything they're really hoping of value that the ages is able to provide them?
I guess the BKB is the big thing that they want on the Templar Assassin. Like, she still is in a position where she needs to worry about the Skyreth Mage a little bit, right? You don't want to be getting Ancient Sealed. You don't want to be copping a full Mystic Flare to the face. You want to keep those refraction charges up. So I feel like as long as you've got that, you're going to be able to dive in pretty confidently, right? You're not going to get that turnaround by the Tiny with the Avatos combo. Really, the only thing you need to be worried about at that stage is a Bloodseeker rupturing you when you're out of position. So as long as you can avoid that, I feel like you're in a pretty good spot.
Well, is relatively close to the BKB for Ken if he wants to disassemble the Dragonlance. Almost has it completed, honestly. So could be go time for the lads on Made in Philippines. You've got the Blink Dagger as well, completed on the Puck, level 15. What did he go for? Went for the Waning Rift damage. So yeah, they are starting to hit some timings. And I feel like for Lilgun, this lineup, it's... I don't see much synergy between how they're able to take team fights. It's really just jump in, blow up a couple heroes from there, then Bloodseeker will have a ridiculous amount of burst movement speed, and maybe they can transition this into more killers, but I feel like it's Made in Philippines that can be really scary with the combos.
Yeah, I mean, what's the vision look like for Lilgun at the moment? I mean, this bottom lane isn't really where they want to be. I guess it could be now that you've already lost the Aegis away from the enemy team, so this probably is the safest place for Lilgun to be, just because I'd say it's the lowest priority for Made in Philippines to be able to take this tier 1 tower. But you're not actually going to get any kills down here, I wouldn't think. Like, Made in Philippines don't want to be here, so I'm not exactly sure what Sanctity's presence down here is going to achieve, if that makes sense.
Scanning.
Maybe just trying to force Made in Philippines back to bottom, or trading towers, but then again, they don't really take towers very well. Like, that's kind of the issue on Dire, and Sanctity has a, what's he got? BKB Silver's Edge queued up, so hopefully that item can help scale. But this was kind of my concerns with the position too tiny. Definitely Sanctity hasn't had the greatest game. It's obvious in the KDA, but him scaling is not really going to be a possibility unless he's able to, next team fight, get multiple kills.
Regeneration.
Sorry, I'm just having a look at Enchantress and his item build. I mean, 1,600 gold at the moment on Teehee.
Come on, sprites.
Will they be able to deal with Kishka?
They want to fight. They don't have Rapido. Sand is very important for them for the moment. Puck's even already going to commit abilities, so JG won't really have some help to be able to retreat if they jump now. It's all on Sanctity to find the initiation. They're going to go straight to the Puck to try and blow him up. Nightmare's giving him a little bit of time. Beautifully done on Lucifer, but it will not matter. There's the first kill. They're going to try and change it the second as Ken's in trouble. Okay, Lilgun, what a fight.
Rapido's coming,
though. Get
though.
rid of the Aegis. Let's see if Rapido's going to be able to turn this around. Ken, BKB is going to attempt the TP. They will not have a way to cancel that one. But in the end, Lilgun, they lose no one. What a beautiful fight for the Mongolian lads.
Yeah, and I wonder what the communication was like during all of that, because Rapido literally just spent the last minute walking from bottom to top just to not have an impact because your TA was forced to TP out, and now he might even die.
Yeah, they're going to see Rapido. He can hope to maybe turn around a kill, which he will do on Kishka. But it's come at a cost, as Rapido will give the kill back over to Ace 12, so 1-for-1 traded. But again, that is your position 3 on Made in Philippines for the position 4 on Lilgun.
Who's nearly overtaken him in net worth as well.
Yeah.
He always seems to find a way to get this farm. He's a cheeky boy. Now he's got the Orchid as well.
Well, honestly, I'm quite surprised. Lilgun, they did a very good job, though, to be able to blow up the Puck. Almost that Nightmare was enough to keep him alive. So eyes on JG now and how it can look to itemize to help out to stop this burst being a possibility. It looks like Lincoln's is going to be that item of choice. Do you feel like this is going to be enough for JG?
I don't know. I'm really a big fan of the Yule Scepter this game. I think it's just going to provide him with a little bit more of that escape potential, a little bit more of that distraction plays, because I feel like the times we're made in Philippines have good team fights. It's on the back of a Sand King
Smoke on
counter
smoke.
initiation. 11
playing under the Observer Ward. JG is going to drop the coil as well, so they're forced to stay in the fight. Ken's actually going to jump into the middle.
Initiation.
Ken protected for the BKB for the moment, but they're just going to look to avoid the Templar Assassin, dealing with the Bane. 2 heroes down, and now with the BKB soon expiring, they're going to toss him back into the meat grinder as Lilgun. Again, they lose no one.
That's not a counter initiation. That is an initiation when your follow-up damage is pretty bad, unless the TA is actually in a position to immediately follow up on you with a Meld Strike. Like, TA is still incredibly farmed, but I don't think anyone dies solo from a Sand King anymore, unless it's like a Blink Epi Sandstorm, right? Onto 2.
You are giving a lot of net worth over to Lilgun through these past couple of fights. That is Sunj and Yasha now completed for the Bloodseeker. And 423 even has is really starting to pick up the farm, working towards the Basher as his next item. 11 on the Visage is going to be going the Assault Cuirass as well. Already Plate Mail completed, and the Buckler, so just needs the Hyperstone and the Recipe. So they are getting very farmed off these past couple of fights on Lilgun.
Absolutely. I mean, even Kishka is just going to continue trying to scale, of course. No need for boots. Just wants to go straight into those utility items. I wonder what it'll be next. Not a horrible Shiva's game, I suppose, but not exactly the most common item for a Monkey King.
Blaine?
Might even just be BKB for himself.
Look at this ward. They've got kind of by the secret shop, but scouting Teehee and JG out. They're going to see 4 heroes on Made in Philippines sweeping towards this side of the map, so will they see the Monkey King? JG's going to jump. Coil drop in the air. I think Lilgun's just going to get out. Well, you lose the Monkey King. It's unfortunate, but you are still getting something out of the map. They're going to back off to their own high ground.
Lucifer is still bottom. Like, I don't think you can go. This would be the exact same mistake that they made 3rd times if they continued on with this push. I think you can afford to have Teehee up here with his Warpine Raider, just trying to get a little bit of damage into that tier 2 tower if someone wasn't there to be able to stop the push, but I think this is exactly where he needs to be. He needs to be up here, stay in the tree line, and hope that they move away from this point. The Observer Ward is going to provide you with that understanding. Maybe he can go for the cut here with a Warpine Raider, but yeah, you can't commit too heavily. You just want to make life difficult for Lilgun at this point in time. Do they see him on the edge of that blood
No,
right?
they didn't see. Still hunting though, but he'll TP out. What are your thoughts? When do you feel like 4-2-3 is going to feel like this Ag Shard is viable for him this game?
Is under attack.
I think you just get the second Roche.
Okay.
Simple. Like, you're in the lead right now. He's got enough farm that you're not the slowest Roche takers anymore. Tiny's going to have that little bit of extra attack speed coming shortly. Still doesn't have the Aghanim Shard, which of course makes farming for Tiny just that bit more difficult.
Dire's bottom tower.
I blame we're going to have a fight break out. Radiant. They've got a really good ward on the cliff. Just going to try and get their own Observer Ward set up, but Radiant starting to move towards this location. Kishka knows, and there we go. Ward taken care of, but they're going to jump. Try and blow him up, but Rapido's put himself in a peculiar position. They'll trade a 1-for-1, but that is a lot of your initiation on Made in Philippines.
They're just a couple of seconds off again, right? Like, this is the exact same thing that happened in that mid lane where you make the initial jump on the Sand King, and it might be a good jump on the right target, but unless the damage is there to follow up, you're just going to die. And that's what's happened to Rapido 2 or 3 times now. At least Ken was able to get the kill eventually with that one, but it shouldn't be at the cost of your Sand King.
Yeah, I mean, Ken is finding a lot of farm across the map. It's almost Daedalus completed for the Templar Assassin. 8, 1, and 5 is their carry.
It is, in fact.
Are we concerned about maybe how much impact he's going to have as the game goes on, or is this a pretty decent TA game?
It's a pretty decent TA game. Like, I'm still of the opinion that the one that you need to jump the most is the Skywrath Mage. You take him out, Puck's game frees up so much, you don't have the Mystic Flare, lots of instances of damage for the TA to have to be concerned about. All you're really worried about is, okay, where's the Tiny, and can I BKB in time? And we've seen multiple times now that Ken's reaction speed is pretty damn good.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be quite difficult for them to find this guy. I think Ace12 has done a very good job with his positioning overall this game. Only 4 deaths on this hero and doesn't have the greatest health pool at all. So maybe it's going to come down to the trap positioning from the Templar Assassin, or maybe you just got a forced reaction. Say Puck jumps in, lands the coil, Ace tries to reveal himself, and maybe that's when they can jump and blow him up, which JG is going to be in trouble. A smoke to the triangle, but great reactions. The ward on the high ground, I believe, scouting them out. She's able to phase shift and get out to safety, but Made Philippines able to take the fight, but they're in.
Not if you go again.
He went back in. They've got defense to try and cancel Sanctity's life, but it will not matter. Now Ken, he's in trouble. Ruptured up. They need detection. They're going to be able to find it. Bash is raining in. It's 4-2-3. Gets rid of the carry. And now we can dive under the tower to bring down Teehee. As it can, Lilgun take another skirmish with 0 casualties.
JG, what are you doing, my man? You just made a great reactionary play to be able to get away from that, and then just walked in without the rest of your team there. I can understand if you had the rest of them behind to be able to make that counter initiation happen, but that was essentially a solo play.
Mid lane, they're going to try and blow up the Tiny. Kishka's nearby with a double balance strike. It'll give Sancti an opportunity to pop the BKB, stay his ground, and get the combos out. They'll find the first, and now they're going to look for the second as well. Combos back up in a couple of seconds. And in the end, 2 skirmishes will result in a team wipe.
Can I ask why? Why do you think a Bane and a Sand King's able to kill a Tiny with 3,000 HP?
I don't know, you give it up Roche now. Not good. There's that Ag side you were mentioning. Uh-oh.
I think this is just so many unforced errors coming through from Made in Philippines. You know, like, Lilgun are not a team that's going to give you too many chances, and I mean, you've opened up like 5 different opportunities to them now, and I think they've taken advantage of at least 4.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Oh, you
Just going into that BKB on Kishka as well, so now he can even play more ballsy than he has been so far.
Another thing is that like Tiny is slowly catching up. It's taking quite some time. Unfortunately, he's not really getting the kills, which is required for him to keep up in net worth as a spell casting in a way. Tiny, but he's got the Shadow Blade and the Spider Legs. JG should be able to kill the Monkey King with the help of Tihi. There's going to be no reactions. They will try and smoke on Lilgun to get across the map. They're potentially going to run into Losify. Ken's
Gotta be careful with this courier pathing as well. That'd be the Wraith Pact that you end up losing if that's the case.
Oh, that Spider Legs, that's huge. Oh no, it's going to come at a cost. No, they got double Spider Legs now. Oh, that's really not good. JG, he's still sticking around.
I don't know if you can do that.
Ah, they lost Spider Legs, man. That's so good. JG! Don't get a bash. Don't first his bash. Okay.
Thought he might be trying to go for those couriers there, but just trying to, again, run the distraction plays. Keep them away from Ken. That's the plan. Ken is still very farmed. Of course, Bloodseeker's overtaken that with the Aghanim Shard freshly picked up from Roshan, but he can't sleep on this man. He just needs to get to level 25, and then he is laughing.
The distraction play can be all well and good, but with the Visage and your 15 talent and also the Assault Crush, you bring down buildings incredibly fast. So tier 2 tower taken for free. This has propelled them up to a 11,000 net worth lead.
Poor Puck. Just going into the Dagons. Got them all queued up. Really wants to be that follow-up damage that they've been lacking all game.
Are they going to try and do this? Let's see if they've got the damage to be able to blow up the Visage. The bonus armor is going to come in handy for Ken's damage output, but with the Epicenter as the cherry on top, get rid of 11's life. A bit of a streak for Losify to claim.
I mean, absolutely, if Ken's there, they can kill anyone. Literally anyone after that stun. But it just so happens that they haven't done that for the past few engagements. So very happy to see that they've rectified that. Let's see if they can make it continue. A lot more emphasis being put onto this push on the bottom side, forcing them into essentially one lane. They know that they can only be pushing on this top side, and they might be able to delay out this Aegis entirely. You've got the Skadi coming out for the Bloodseeker. Couple of rupture charges is actually huge.
Already got the 25 on Ken though. So he's got the extra refraction instances, even considering a refresher, which is interesting on the TA, feeling like the importance of a second BKB and also extra refraction instances, I suppose, to play with. So, because it definitely feels like Ken, he's more than likely going to be the one ruptured in fights to really hinder his mobility. So it's going to come down to, is he ruptured in a location where the coil is so he can kind of stand his ground and right click, or maybe when he's ruptured you can have double BKB and double refraction to stand your ground and man fight?
Sure, but the rupture's the big thing for mine, right? Like, you can have all the refraction instances in the world, but unless you get a Lincoln's on top of you, you're still vulnerable to that. You're watching Kishka again?
Yeah, Kishka was just leaping through the trees, continuously chasing. Hang on a second, Puck! Oh no! Oh jeez! You gotta get an A on disc, I think. Now, what's happening mid? With all this going on, the towers are gonna beat down.
Yeah, you don't exactly have the greatest D push.
He's got a Hex. Oh my god.
Kishka Gaming.
That's a big scary totem. Off the back of the MP! Rapido finds 3 Sanctity! Just scurries on out. 423 is going to try and stand his ground. He's got the second life to play with. Can they set themselves up though? Ken's still dishing a lot of damage out. 423 will try and pop the BKB and retreat. They're even going to toss Tiki back onto the Bloodseeker. Blood right drop down. Enchantress has nothing she's going to be able to do. Or will she actually survive through it at the moment as Ken jumps on over? And MIPH not at the perfect timing as... Woo! Rapido, what an ultimate. And they hold their barracks. They will lose one, but they don't drop the full set.
The damage is there. It's just the coordination that hasn't been. So very nice that they were able to get that turnaround happening. I believe that might be Swift Blink as well, coming out for the Templar Assassins. So just more ways to be able to close in onto those backlines, get the attack speed available. And for me, like, it's all about the Rupture. Like, if you could get up to level 25 on the Bloodseeker, have the second Rupture charge, even if they're going to use the Linkens, as long as you get Rupture onto the TA, she cannot influence these team fights in the same level.
They're probably going to get a full set.
Absolutely they are. They might get two.
Oh, wow. One fight, all they needed on Radiant.
And by the time they're respawning, guess what's back up? Epi.
Jeez. Made in Philippines, what have you done? Full set of barracks bottom. They've got the melee racks mid. They've got a double damage rune as well to be able to fall back on. So this could set them up perfectly for the next fight with this advantage from the rune.
Advantage from the rune. They're taking jungle control. I'm pretty sure they brought this tier 2 tower top down to this level. Yeah, they smoked. They saw the smoke. Teehee's probably going to be the one to pop it. He's pretty tanky. Wraith Pact, magic resistance, plenty of Nature's Attendant's abilities to be able to pull this off. But, well, they're going to see the fact that they're moving around with the TA trap on the high ground plus the sentry ward. So immediately just either back up to the base or play around this vision.
They just got Lucify Scepter as well. So who is he guaranteeing a lockdown throughout the fight? Who is that main target that the Fiend Script's going to be used on?
Whoever's BKB'd, essentially. Like, they might like to try and put it onto the Visage as well, just because a few times Bloodseeker's just made an absolute beeline for him and tried to get the bash off, but now that you've got the Aghanim Scepter, that's so much less of a factor. You need to bash every single one of those units.
A bit more difficult. I guess the Blood Riot could definitely help out with the AoE silence, but let's see if that's going to be...
I mean, you can just Familiar stun on top of
Sure.
everyone that's channeling the Fiend's Grip.
Yep. We got a ball game now. 1,000, 2,000 net worth lead for Lilgun. They're down the objectives advantage. It's a 50% dead even probability. 38 minutes in, you were saying that Made in Philippines, kind of the big issue for them was really just the execution, but they've now shown that they have the capability to execute fights.
Look at this as well. So when he was taking that outpost, Lucify actually put his Aghanim Scepter on the courier so they wouldn't see him if they were looking through. So they're using the power of misinformation, or rather lack of information, to think that they're safe. But Lucify, he's going
they're
for
gonna
that
find
Fiend's
him.
Grip, and they're gonna get it.
They're gonna get him. They're gonna get the Bloodseeker, the Fiend's Grip. There we go. The TPs, they'll do nothing. 4-2-3 is gonna buy back at least, but you're gonna take the fight into the DD on Ken. It's an early BKB, so they know they can jump and blow him up. Oh no, and our T. Kishka's in range, gets the Hex to cancel the TP. So they will find a secondary kill. It does come at a cost, but let's see what they can get out of it now on Lilgun.
I'm not sure if buying back is the best option on the Enchantress. You're really in a position where you know the buyback's been expended on the Bloodseeker.
JJ, cold drop for the Monkey King. He's got the Hex if he can get in range. Maybe Sanctity can connect. A blink to the right. Sanctity's going to try and close the distance. Won't be able to, so they'll turn to the easier target in the Bane. Lucify doesn't have a buyback.
Just feels unnecessary. I think that they could have gotten out entirely, have something scout out the Roche Pit. They're going to be lucky that it's a pretty long respawn timer. And JG looking to make this push happen into the bot lane. Someone's got to deal with this. There is a full wave of super melee creeps pushing into the base in the mid lane, so Puck won't be able to deal with that.
They're going to try and force it. They push fast, man. You got to respect the Visage. Just out.
Actually picked up Boots of Bearing as well.
They're going to drop the Wukongs, but they're going to go for it. It's going to be a 4-on-5 for the defense. Tier 4s are falling fast. They could just try and beeline to the throne. Objective-based gaming onto the Templar Assassin as well. TA's in trouble. It will not matter. It's the throne. It's going to pop. And Lilgun, they'll take this series 2-0. Man, what a sequence of events. The past couple of fights were so back and forth. But in the end, Lilgun, the Mongolian boys, they'll be able to take their first series of the third tour.
This was, I don't even want to call it inexperienced, because these guys are experienced at the professional level. Made in Philippines, they just made a bunch of silly mistakes. You know, the meta hasn't changed that much. There was nothing really that was absolutely new with what ended up happening. It was just Rapido on a completely different page about 4 or 5 different times from the rest of the team. Yes, of course, the counter initiation, the epicenter, blink stun onto 3 was amazing to be able to bring them back into the game, but yeah, I think they just lack someone with a real overarching call about what's going to happen at each separate stage of the game, because yeah, I think if they were a little bit more connected with their movements, with when then where they were taking the team fights, they could have easily taken this game. But Lilgun, to their credit, they really don't let too much pass when a team makes mistakes, and that's the mark of a good team.
That is the mark of a good team, and it's a mark of a team that we've been looking for quite some time, though, because again, Lilgun, they had that quality in them in some games and in some series in Tour 1, Tour 2. Of course, we've seen them in the upper division as well back at that time in the last DPC. They're trying to get back there. We expected them to do it in the Tour 2, but they weren't able to do so, and now you need to capitalize on every series victory you're looking for, and honestly, for the Made in Philippines lads, they're a very good team, but at the end of the day, they're an open qualifying team. And Lilgun, we were speaking about it earlier. We're speaking about it with the TNC lads as well. You have to convert on your series victories because nothing is going to be for free. Like you're battling against Execration, Army Geniuses, who we both put are going to be making it out. So every series victory you have to get when you are not facing those like top 3 contender teams. So today, Lilgun, there's some rockiness there. It's a new patch. We saw nothing crazy from them. I think the main thing is just that proving the Visage is still very strong in their hands, and also proving that the Broodmother is still, you need to respect it in the first phase. They didn't in game 1. They picked it up instantly, and then game 2, Made in Philippines didn't make that same mistake, but Lilgun still proving that there's no really new cheese. Maybe after a couple days, hopefully they can bring Marcy maybe to the hero pool, but for them, messy second game from both sides, but it is the first series, expecting both sides to really clean it up into their kind of the later series that we have coming up.
You'd hope so. I mean, you give them a bit of a pass, right, for the first series of a new season. There's a bunch of nerves there, especially. So we'll see. We'll see what these teams are able to do moving forward. But yeah, you're definitely going to need to be a little bit more polished about how you take a lot of these team fights. Even on Lilgun's side, right? They nearly let what was almost a free game slip out of their fingertips. So they'll be happy to bank the 2-0 win against a reasonable quality side in Made in Philippines. But I'm not sure if Army Geniuses or Execration would give them that same sort of leeway. So do we know when they end up facing each other?
I will
find it. I don't think it's actually scheduled yet, so it's
Okay.
probably for one of the later weeks with the favorites going up against each other. That's what we always want to see at the pointy end of the season, the ones that are probably fighting for those promotion spots going up against each other.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see how those teams are able to shape up when they verse each other. But for today, Lilgun in the end, 2-0 victory versus Made in Philippines. Is there anything that, because we didn't really feel like it was too much of a draft event. We were kind of going back and forth. I think did you say Made in Philippines? You said Made in Philippines. I said Lilgun, so that's right. I'm up. Let's go. Love to see it. But
Rectifies game 1.
I was right in game 1, and you were wrong, but that's okay.
You weren't.
Okay, we're gonna go back
No.
and we. Hopefully we are getting into you. That's the one thing we were looking to see if that was going to be the case or not. For Made in Philippines, do you feel like it's really just clean up a couple of mistakes and then they should be in fine position for the rest of the series? Or maybe there was some draft issues that you weren't too happy with? What are you feeling with these lads?
I think game 1, it was very draft-centric. I think they got a little bit too close-minded towards the Broodmother, and they just let everything else slip. So I think they need to address that. You need to understand who you're playing against, right? This is Lilgun. This is the team that made their mark playing cheese, and they're still doing it, right? They're against a Broodmother in game 1 and a Visage in game 2, and I feel like they did a little bit to address the Broodmother, but it was the things like not going the boots of travel, and they just got ping-ponged around the map and fell 10k behind. I think it was like 17 minutes in. Shouldn't be happening. And then in this game number 2, you're against the Visage. I see no Visage counters in this game outside of maybe the Sand King. But even then, like, Rapido wasn't really playing with the rest of the team. So there's a few things that they need to work on, but it's a long season. So they've got the time to be able to do it. I just hope that they really put their noses down and really start working.
Okay. Well, we do have an interview. It's going to be 423 joining us, so we'll drag him in. 423, hello. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Firstly, how are you doing, and how the lads doing after the series victory?
I'm fine. What did you say? Can you repeat?
How are you and the team doing after your series victory?
Don't know. We're just chill.
Just chill, cool. I have a question for you, 423. We saw in game number 1, you guys brought out the Broodmother. Is that something that, just because it's the first day of a new patch, you're like, look, let's try and catch these guys off guard? Or is it something that you specifically had prepared for Made in Philippines?
We prefer it a lot, and Brute is one of the fix we prefer it.
Yeah, is that anything to do with the patch, do you think, that
No,
made you
no.
want to pick it?
Nope.
No,
There
just
is no change in
same
the
thing that
Brute.
you've been playing. Yeah, but like some of the other changes around, I suppose. But that's cool. You were just picking comfort. And then in game number 2, it was a little shaky at times, right? Like you were coming back against the Sand King, who was making some good initiations. Was there any real big call about like Kishka going for the Scythe of Vice? Like, was that specifically to target anyone?
It was specifically targeted for the fuck, because the hero is very sleepy.
Ah, very good. Very sleepy, for sure. All right, well, moving forward, you were one of the teams that we had as favorites in the previous seasons. Do you guys view yourselves as one of those top 2? Or do you really feel like, Execration, they look very strong, and we've seen Army Geniuses look very strong as well. Do you see those as your main rivals?
Yes, Excretion and Army Geniuses is good team, I think, for this season, and we are very competent in ourselves this season.
I have another question, actually. We've seen you play a few European tournaments as well. Are you guys going to continue doing that, or are you just sticking to Southeast Asia for now?
Uh, I don't really know about that. It just depends on our mood to join other tournaments or not.
Cool. You got any questions, Aries?
When a new patch comes out, does the whole team sit down and kind of go over patch notes together, or do you do it individually?
What did you say? I did not understand.
When a new patch comes out, do you read the patch by yourself, or do you sit down as a team and read it together and find out what you like?
We read it ourselves first and discuss with each other.
You don't have to reveal if there is anything, but did you see anything that you think might be OP as a result of the patch?
I think Leshak is pretty good. And the Marcy hero.
Why didn't you pick it? We were waiting for the Marcy.
I don't know. We are just not confident in the hero.
Well, hopefully we get to see you pull out the Marcy shortly. We were both looking for it, but at the end of the day, congratulations on the 2-0 victory. Is there any shout outs you want to give real quick before we let you go?
Okay.
Any shout outs? 423? Is you're happy with that? You're happy with your series victory at least? Okay. 423, we'll let you go. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for the interview, and good luck on your next series.
Thank you.
There we go. Thank you very much, 423. We've got our interview done and dusted, Danog. So 2 series done as well. Now we're going to be looking towards Division 1, which we've got the lads on NGX taking on Fnatic, I believe.
Yes, that's right. NGXC taking on Fnatic. That'll be a pretty interesting series to see how both of those teams are going to adapt to the patch. I really want to see some more healing supports in the lane. I think that is going to be busted. I want to see some Witch Doctor. His Death Ward only has a minute cooldown now. I want to see some OD. I want to see some real unique stuff coming through.
True, I didn't even see the Witch Doctor chain. 60 seconds. That's very low. Okay, I'm excited. I'm just... Mike and John, get ready for your... I'm 95% sure they're casting later. Get ready for the...
No. I don't think it's them. I think it's Lyrical and Gods, maybe?
Okay, well, get ready for the Marcy. I hate that you guys are going to get it before us, but we had 2 series. We didn't get it. It's okay. If you guys get it, nothing we can do. Hopefully, it's going to be some exciting series. Honestly, I'm keen to see how NGXC look as well. We saw them in the Pro Series. They made a pretty deep run, finishing 3rd place. Of course, they dropped down to Polaris in the lower bracket finals with the addition of Boom Booey. And Fnatic as well. We saw them at the Mage, unfortunately. They had some solid games, but probably didn't place as high as what they were hoping, but they did finish the Spring Tour off in 1st place. So looking to continue with their strong showing in the Southeast region. Any predictions before that series gets going?
Fnatic 2-0.
Oh, okay. I'll actually follow. I'll say Fnatic 2-0. Excited to see how...
Do we have any Eastern European after that, or is it just
We've got
SEA?
3 Eastern European games today. So a lot of Dota is going to be on Beyond the Summit. I actually think Eastern Europe is starting relatively early tonight as well. We have... May as well go through it. We got Division 2 kicking off in 56 minutes. It's going to be Namiga up against Hydra. So they'll start with Division 2, then they'll move back over to Division 1, which is then Na'Vi versus CIS Rejects. So that is hype, kind of a rematch of the finals with the new, I guess, roster from CIS Rejects. And then they are back over to Division 2. It'll be PuckChamp taking on Cybercats.
Okay, that'll be cool. The redemption arc for...
Yes.
PuckChamp, that's for sure. But we got some DPC first by Beyond the Summit, and I am pretty keen to see that. So Fnatic taking on Nigma Galaxy C. I want to see you guys all in chat because I'm going to be there watching and waiting.
Watching and waiting and seeing how that series is able to shape up. Now, it's going to be a bit of a longer break. It'll be probably about 56 minutes until the games start. Probably about 40 minutes, maybe a little bit more until the panel is live. So stick around. Got some time once again to enjoy the new patch, test things out, and try and get some food and drink into as well before the action continues. But we will see you after the break for our 3rd and final series of the night. We're moving over to Division 1.